AT for Transition, Low-Incidence Disabilities. All students experience transitions during their time in school. These changes prepare them for new situations in work and daily life. For students with disabilities, it is important to plan for these transitions by considering current and additionally needed assistive technology, or AT. Assistive technology refers to any item or piece of equipment that is used to increase, maintain, or improve the functional capabilities of individuals with disabilities in all aspects of life. Services offered to support AT usage can include evaluation, purchasing, repairing or customizing devices, and training. Assistive technology plays a vital role in helping individuals with low-incidence disabilities gain independence. According to the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, IDEA, low-incidence disabilities occur less frequently in the general population. Low-incidence disabilities may include visual impairments, including blindness, hearing impairments, including deafness, significant cognitive impairments, physical or orthopedic disabilities, autism, or traumatic brain injury. Whenever a significant transition occurs, the use of a transition plan should describe how a student will continue using their AT in their new environment. Once a student turns 16, the IEP team must include a formal transition plan in a student's Individualized Education Program, IEP. It assists with planning post-secondary support in education, employment, and independent living. Without proper planning for transition, students may abandon their assistive technology tools or may not transition with AT appropriate for their new environments. Types of transitions in public education. One of the first transitions a student experiences is when they move from early intervention services to public education programs. Babies Can't Wait is Georgia's early intervention program for children younger than 3 years of age. Students first receive early intervention services on an Individualized Family Service Plan, IFSP, and then transition to an IEP provided by public education at the age of 3. An example of AT that would need to transition from documentation in an IFSP to an IEP may be some form of communication device, such as a low-tech communication board or high-tech augmentative and alternative communication system. Other types of transitions that often include staff changes involve moving to a more or less restrictive placement, attending a new school, participating in community and work-based learning opportunities, or aging out of public education. IEP teams can use transition plans to document how they will support the student's assistive technology needs, which helps maintain or increase student independence in their new setting. IEP teams should begin planning for major transitions, such as students' post-secondary AT needs, several years before graduation. Components of a successful transition plan for assistive technology. Research-based quality indicators for assistive technology helps teams understand what is most important when providing assistive technology services. Indicator number 6 addresses the transition of assistive technology between environments at any point in a student's educational career. A thorough plan should outline specific timelines, assign advocacy tasks, determine new environmental requirements and skill demands, and identify funding options. Identifying future assistive technology needs. Using the SET framework, student, environment, tasks, and tools, the transition planning team determines whether or not the current assistive technology is appropriate for meeting new environmental requirements and skill demands. The Georgia Department of Education offers a Guide for Assistive Technology and Transition Planning to assist school teams with reviewing student assistive technology needs. This planning guide examines student independence with mobility, transportation, daily living activities, communication, computer access, and literacy. If new needs are identified, the transition team can seek additional support for further assistive technology solutions. Students with low-incidence disabilities often have limited speech and language skills and may need more frequent communication support to address their evolving needs. Questions to ask when considering new AAC needs could include: is there a communication system currently in place? Does the communication system meet the student's communication needs? How old is the current system? Does the student or the school own their current communication system? The transition plan should lay out a clear timeline for the consideration of new AAC that may include consulting with a speech-language pathologist or assistive technology specialist. The plan should explain how the device will be funded and who needs training to use it. Development of self-advocacy skills. When planning for transitions, it is important to involve the student in the plan for assistive technology at an early age to aid in the development of self-advocacy skills. Educators write IEP goals to teach students how to explain their disability and justify their need for specific AT tools. For example, a student with low vision or blindness may require accessible learning materials that are compatible with screen readers or braille displays. By understanding how the assistive technology they use requires accessible materials and specific file types for electronic text, they can advocate for accessing the file types they need. When students become skilled in using their AAC, whether low, mid, or high tech, they can take responsibility for advocating for their AT needs and should participate in their transition planning several years prior to high school graduation. Areas to plan for ahead of a student's post-secondary transition may include daily living aids for dressing, meal prep, and grooming, sensory or emotional regulation supports, as well as visual schedules provided through a communication wallet or app. For individuals with physical disabilities or visual impairments affecting computer and environmental access, teams should consider what is needed for mounting a computer or AAC device, switches to activate these devices, and environmental controls that can be placed in their new environment to promote independence. If advocacy is a skill that has not progressed to a point of independence, students with disabilities must have a team of adults who can advocate with and for them to ensure access. Funding sources for assistive technology. In addition to state and local funding for early intervention, special education, and related services, teams can identify federal funding sources for AT under IDEA Parts C and B. Once individuals transition from the public education setting, funding can be a barrier to obtaining additional assistive technology equipment and services. Agencies like Tools for Life, Georgia's Assistive Technology Act program, can help individuals locate additional funding sources. Tools for Life offers a funding guide that can outline resources such as loans and AT reuse options. Georgia Vocational Rehabilitation Agency assists individuals with funding assistive technology for post-secondary work and living environments. The Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities helps individuals with intellectual and/or developmental disabilities live in their preferred settings and assists with community participation. Transition plans should document funding solutions and identify support agencies that can assist with post-secondary transition needs related to AT. As students transition to new environments, assistive technology can continue to grow with them by using a carefully thought-out plan for transition. When families, educators, and service providers work together to support individuals with low-incidence disabilities, they can ensure continued success into adulthood. This video is produced through a partnership between the Georgia Department of Education, Special Education Services and Supports, and Tools for Life at the Center for Inclusive Design and Innovation at Georgia Tech. For more information on AT Tools for Education, see our other videos in the series.